I've worked with over 170 sports coaches, helping them expand their training businesses online by leveraging social media and online training. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the 9 components of an effective online training program. I used to run an online training business where I trained over 250 athletes in just 10 months, all online. We did over $250,000 in sales. Our best month was $32,000 a month. And I now run the online consulting company, Just Coach, where we're teaching sports coaches how to do the exact same thing that I did. So let's get into it. There are really 9 main components of actually running an effective online training program, right? A lot of people get really tripped up over how to create an online training program. So I'm going to try and break this down at the most fundamental and basic level of this. So that way you can actually get a lot of value out of it. So you can conceptualize, okay, what do I actually need in order to create an online training program, right? So the first thing and the most important thing of creating an online training program, right? It sounds super basic, but it's athletes. Okay, so it might sound obvious, or it might sound like, oh, well, no duh, Nick. Well, if a lot of people try and create online training programs without actually having athletes to make them around. And the reason why that's a problem is because you are going to make your program around the athletes that you already have in order to help them in the day-to-day, which will make more sense as I go through this, right? But the most important thing that you need is athletes. If you don't have athletes to train, then none of this makes sense, right? None of this even matters. You need to have athletes to train, right? Okay, so once you have, like, let's say even just one, you only need one athlete to make your online training program around. You just get one athlete, okay? Ideally you have 3 to 5, so that way you can create a couple different variations of it. And that way you can actually start to build different variations of the program rather than just having one, okay? So number 2, it's going to be a platform. So a lot of people get tripped up over the platform, and what we tell most beginners, right? And when I say beginner, I mean somebody that's never trained anybody online before. Just use Google Sheets. It's super simple. Honestly, I could probably just send you guys a sample program if you want. So go ahead, DM me on Instagram, the word program, and I'll send you over a sample program of what I actually have my athlete or my coaches use within the program. But you can just use Google Sheets, Google Drive, Google Docs. If you're just starting out, there's a way that you can make it look actually very aesthetic and easy to follow and things like that. We actually have a partnership with an app called Connect, and that's where we send most of our coaches who are kind of ready to take the next step in their training business. I used to use Trainerize in my business. I actually have a video on this channel of how I use Trainerize, a full breakdown, a full walkthrough and things like that. The platform really doesn't mean a whole lot. And the reason why is because there are so many app platforms out there that can do what you need it to do. At the end of the day, what really matters is that you help athletes get results, is that you help athletes actually get better, which sounds so basic, but people are so worried about the aesthetic and this and that. What really matters is that people get results from your training. And really, you could get results from somebody by sending them videos back and forth on iMessage and taking a picture of a piece of paper where you've written down what you want them to do every single day, okay? So at a very high level, the platform actually doesn't matter, but you need something in order to train your athletes through. I just listed a few right there for you. You can even use Superset, Coach IQ, school, doesn't matter, okay? Number 3 is a daily routine. So one of the benefits of having an online program for your athletes is that you get to show them what to do every single day, right? If you're watching this, you're probably a coach, you're giving lessons, things like that, and you see your athlete, like let's say today is Thursday, okay? You see your athlete on Thursday and you say, hey, go do this, like go practice this, but it's kind of vague. You're not really giving them homework. Like maybe you give them homework, but every single time they come back to you, it seems like they didn't do anything. And if they're honest, they probably didn't. They probably didn't remember, because let's be honest with ourselves. We're dealing with athletes, we're dealing with kids, 16-year-old kids. They're not gonna remember every single little thing that you said. Okay, so we need to document it and create a daily routine for them to do every single day, right? So if you were there in person with them, what would you have them do? Okay, and you're gonna write that down. You're gonna write all that down and you're gonna put it on the platform, okay, for the athletes that you already have. Number 4, this goes hand in hand with the daily routine. Video demos. Okay, so we want to have video demonstrations of the daily routine, right? So I'm going to use a baseball example because I was a baseball player, baseball coach. Let's say I'm going to have a guy do like a drill for his swing, right? I'm going to take a video of me, getting in front of the camera and be like, okay, this is this T drill. You're going to put the T right here. You're going to do 3 sets of 8 reps. And this is what we're trying to focus on. This is what it looks like. These are the issues that people run into. You're basically just gonna tell people, you're gonna document whatever you would do in a session, right? Don't overcomplicate this. Whatever you would do in a session, you're gonna put that in the daily routine and then you're gonna take a video of it, right? And so you can see how this starts to stack, okay? So we have the athletes, we have the platform, we write out the daily routine on the platform, and then we have a link to the video, or some platforms will allow you to embed the video within the platform so they can go on their phone and they can look at it and it'll say, T swings, 3 sets of 8. Here's a demonstration. Okay, and then they can mark it off as completed, which is why the platform can be super beneficial, but I don't want you guys to get, lost in the sauce, if you will. I'm trying to keep this high level so you can really understand the concepts. Okay, after that, number 5. We might have them do stuff every single day. That's awesome. However, we need to know if they're making progress. And so for that, we're going to have weekly check-ins. So a weekly check-in is essentially your athlete's going to fill out a form, like a survey, every single week and let you know how they're kind of progressing, right? Let's say you're tracking metrics, you're a pitching coach helping people throw harder, you're a strength coach helping people get stronger in the weight room, you're a quarterback coach teaching people how to throw the ball better, whatever. You're gonna have them give you feedback. And in that weekly check-in, they're going to send you a video, okay? So that way you can actually continue to stay on top of them, right? You can have them send you videos throughout the week. However, this should be like the milestone marker, if you will, okay? Where you give them a weekly check-in so that way every single week you can document the progress. This is also good for your marketing because if you get an onboarding video at first, so that way you can look at where they're at, and then let's say 18 weeks into the program, you can show this is the progress that they made in this amount of time, and then you have documented what you actually did, and that's going to be the most powerful marketing for you, okay? So once you're doing the weekly check-ins, you get the videos, things like that, we're actually going to do like a video analysis, okay? And so a lot of these platforms will allow you to do video analysis. I used to do mine in the most basic form. They would send me a video via iMessage, just what I did when I was first starting. They would send me a video via iMessage. I would pull it up on my computer. I would go on Zoom and I would screen share and show the video, and I would do the video analysis and I would record it and then I would send it over to them, right? And I'll show you a couple bonuses later on in this video of how you can actually use it, okay? But we're gonna do a video analysis, and that could be, we'll use the baseball example. You're gonna analyze their swing, show them what they could or couldn't be doing differently, right? If you're a quarterback's coach, you can take video of their game and break down, okay, the defense is here, we should be looking at this, the linebacker's here, the safety's coming up, he might blitz, whatever the case is, right? I'm trying to keep this high level, obviously, but I'm giving you some tactical, tangible examples so that way you can apply it to whatever your coaching business is, okay? We're gonna do a video analysis so that way people can visually see what they need to be doing better, because obviously one of the things of online training is the fact that I can't be there moving your arm and this and that, but on the flip side, we can show them, hey, this is how I'm thinking about this, so that way you can think about it like this as well. Okay, so once we have the video analysis, okay, and we're gonna do those, let's say once per week on the weekly check-ins, okay, we're gonna have a communication cadence. I'll just put communication here because I'm gonna run out of room. Okay, we're gonna have a communication cadence. So when somebody joins your program, you should have a very definitive time frame of, okay, every single week, you are going to fill out this weekly check-in form. You're going to send me a video. And then every Friday, we're gonna get on a Zoom call and we're gonna talk, okay? We're gonna review the video. We're gonna talk about how things are going. If we need to adjust your daily routine, do you need more video demonstrations that are a little bit better, that explain the drill a little bit better, explain the concept a little bit better, right? We're gonna create a communication cadence so that way they have the expectation of every Friday, we're gonna hop on a call, or at least once a week, or every other week, or once a month, or whatever it is, right? I have clients who do video calls with their athletes once a month. I have clients that do video calls with their athletes once a week, okay? That is completely dependent on what time you want to commit to. Okay, so that is something that is obviously personal. We can provide you guidance with that, etc. However, at a high level, you want to create a communication cadence. Also, you should be setting the expectation of how often you can be messaging with them back and forth. I wouldn't recommend using your phone because once you get, like I had over 100 active athletes myself at one point, and iMessage got to be too much. So I used the app platform to communicate with them through that, right? And I would say, hey, I'm gonna send you messages on this day and this day to check in. And then I would make that promise, and then I would keep that promise. And so that way they know how to interact with me. I'm training them how to interact with me and what they should expect with me, okay? And so we're gonna have that communication cadence. You can also use an app platform like Slack. That's how I run all my communication now in my own business, right? But at a high level, this is what it looks like, okay? And then once we have a communication cadence, and you have a couple athletes, right, you should start running group calls, okay? And this is really where you can create a lot of value and you can create a lot of leverage, okay? So as time goes on, you'll start to get more and more athletes, and you can start running group Zoom calls where all of them are on there, and let's say you analyze everybody's video on that call, right? It's like little 5 minutes or whatever. You could do that. You could bring on a guest speaker who's like has high status in your sport. People in my program, for example, if you're a baseball coach, they'll bring on like current major leaguers or ex-major leaguers or college coaches or whatever, okay? Or it'll just be them where they jump on, it's live Q&A, you can ask whatever questions you want. This is going to allow athletes to learn from each other, right? Because in a remote setting, it's like a lot of work done on their own, okay? So this is going to allow you to create more of a connection with your audience or with your athletes, as well as have them collaborate, right? Every single time I've gotten stronger or my strongest in the weight room, it's because I was lifting with people who were as strong or even stronger than me, ideally, right? So this is a great way to create connection, and you can, do the video analysis on the group calls, or you can make people fill out their weekly check-ins and then you review them on the group calls, right? Or you can ask people, hey, what else do we need within this program on the group calls, okay? Number 9 is a community. This is something that I should have started way sooner in my own online coaching business, okay? I had probably 100 active athletes. I didn't have a community, it was one-to-one. People were asking me the same question over and over and over and over and over again, and it got to be really draining. And then I created a community. And so that way, every single day, this is like kind of a nice little value add that I had, is I would just go on a walk and shoot a video, and it was more like mindset talk. And then I would upload it into the community every single day. Or whenever I onboarded a new athlete, I would do a video analysis, and then I would upload it into the community, okay? And so that's how you can intertwine all these different things, but obviously, number one, you need athletes. So once you have 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes, you should be helping them, or you should be engaging in the community and forcing them to post their questions in the community. You can use something like School, Slack, you can use Trainerize, like there are a bunch of these different platforms that you can use, okay? So do not get tripped up over what platform should I use. Pick one. Pick one, okay? GroupMe, WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack. You can even create a group chat on iMessage, although that ends up being an absolute chaos. It ends up being absolute chaos, right? So these are the 9 components that you need to have in order to have an effective online training program. The first one, athletes. Second one, a platform. Third one, a daily routine. Fourth one, video demos. Fifth one, weekly check-ins. Sixth one, video analysis. Seventh one, a communication cadence. Eighth one, group calls. Ninth one, community. If you have all these things in your online training program, you will not only be able to create a great training program for your athletes, but a great environment for them to collaborate, and you'll be able to build a program that gets insane results, the best results probably that you've ever gotten, and you won't have to spend all your time one-on-one in the facility. An added bonus, right, is to take your in-person athletes and put them on a hybrid program to where you give them access to all of this stuff and you're still seeing them once a week or once every other week or once a month because of how much extra help you're going to give them. Okay, so hopefully this video was helpful for you. These are the 9 components of an online training program. Catch you in the next one.